Hi everyone, it's Karen here, and today I have another video that is more of a get to know a product in mixed media. This is a product I use a lot, and it's the sprays. And I really wanted to talk a little bit about sprays. Somebody actually on YouTube asked me if I could do a spray video just to explain how to use, what sprays are, and all the different kinds. And I went ahead and gathered one of each of the types that I actually have in my studio. These are one of each, meaning that I actually didn't have all the sprays that exist in this world. I have ones that where I've worked with certain companies or I've bought certain ones. It might just have just one of those in general, but just to show you how they work and how they react. This is not a review video. I'm not reviewing which one is better, which one is worse. This is not a review video. This is just specifically talking about what are sprays, how to use them, and the different types and what you like and how you want to use them. So I'm going to get started, and before I spray them, I just want to talk a little bit about them. We have Prima Marketing has their own line of sprays. They have their original Color Bloom sprays, which came in this packaging. And then they got Color Bloom sprays too, which are a little bit more shimmery than the original ones. And these are, because I am working with Prima the most and I am an educator with Prima, these are the ones that I use the most. And that's just my preference. I learned to use these and control them the most. And what you're going to find with sprays is that once you get hooked on a certain company, you tend to stick with that company because you get to know how their spray to bottle works, how their colors react with each other, how it reacts with water and with different mediums. So do you need to buy specifically this one or this one or this one? No, just buy one or try a few, buy one of each, try the one you like, and then stick with those. Of course, you should always go and try other ones as well because, for example, a place like Lindy's or 13 Arts has a lot of colors that, for example, Prima doesn't have. So it's really nice to kind of get to know the different sprays out there in the market and have fun with them and experiment. So these are 13 Arts, and there's two different types that I had. These are not the only types that are there, but these are the only two that I had. One is the pearls and the chalky one. So this has a more of a chalky consistency, which is a little bit more flat, but still a little bit shimmery. And this is really shimmery, the pearl one. Here you have the Lindy's. And Lindy's, I had three different types of sprays that I was going to talk about. There is the Starburst, which are very shimmery dye inks. Then you have the Moon Shadows, which have a sepia tone to it because they have a walnut stain inside of them, a walnut ink, so it makes them like a sepia tone. And then you have the Flat Fabios, and what that means is that they're not shimmery at all. They're actually flat. So for people that don't like the shimmer or the glitter, then they can use flat ones. Then I used to design for a company called Shimmers. They have beautiful sprays in so many different colors with really funky names. Same as Lindy's has really fun and funky names to everything. And they have things like coloring, spritz, and they have so many different types as well. But these are the two that I found myself that I wanted to talk about. I will talk about this in a minute. First, I want to talk about one of the original companies, which is Tattered Angels. They have two different ones that I had in my studio. One is like a chalky, kind of similar to the chalky paste that the chalky consistency of the 13 Arts, and then they have the Glimmery Mist, which is very similar to the Pearl. Then we get into Tim Holtz. And Tim Holtz has, these are actually just different colors of the same. This is a pumice stone and then the cracked pistachio of the Tim Holtz Distress Spray Stain. And these are specifically water reactive. They are supposed to react with water and create that distressed look that we love so much. And this type, which is an old one, it's an Adirondack color wash. This is also a water-based and also water reactive. This is the original Tim Holtz color wash, but these are being discontinued, so you won't be able to find these so much, but they're very intense in color. Very, very intense. They don't look like stains. They more look like sprays. Then you have Ranger Dilutions, which is really beautiful, intense color. They're also dye inks, and they're very intense and they're not usually shiny, if I'm not mistaken. We will test them to see. They're more flat. And the other one that I found was a Heidi Swapp one. This one is shiny, and again, all of them are sprays, and they just give different looks. But truthfully, what you should be looking for after testing is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for shimmer? Are you looking for flat, a chalky consistency? Do you want to experiment? What do you want to use your sprays for? That's what's important. And by doing that, you will narrow down what you're looking for. And also it has to do with where these things are shipping from. So if you live, for example, in Europe, then you might want to go with 13 Arts, or you might want to go with something like Prima that is more available in Europe. But however, if the United States and North America and anywhere like that, then you have a lot more options, because you have things like Prima, you have things like Lindy Stamp Gang, you have all the Tim Holtz line, and so forth. So it's really fun to work with these. And I just want to say that you can also make your own spray. And lots of companies sell these empty bottles that you can put different things in them. For example, in this one, I actually put mica powder. So I put mica powder, and then you shake it and you get to spray it as well. A lot of these companies also, if you notice at the bottom, especially Lindy's or 13 Arts and Prima, and here also the one from Tattered Angels, they're made with mica powders. And what that means is that they come with mica at the bottom, and then you add water and mix it, and that's what gives it the really nice color. And mica is pretty shiny, so when it's ground and it has the different colors, when it's stained with the different colors, it does take on that specific color that is that you want. So the color is usually really, really bright and really shiny, and a lot of these are made with mica, but some of them are made with dye ink. So I'm just going to test them a little bit. I made myself a little watercolor guide here, so I know like which one is which, and we'll write them down so you can kind of see the differences. I took different colors, so you can also see the difference in that as well. So let me move everything so we can get going on that. It's really important to really decide what is it that you want from your sprays. And one of the things that I really suggest is to read reviews on different sprays from different people, and see and follow different artists, subscribe to their YouTube channels, and just see what they use and how they like it. And you will learn those techniques, and you will learn how to use these beautiful sprays in their bottles. I find that different bottles give different effects, and I really like the fact that you get used to one type of bottle, and that's the one you end up using almost throughout your whole mixed media career. And it's just really fun to do that. So I'm going to start with this one here, just because the first one is handy. This is the color wash, and let's start. And you can see how intense. Okay, a lot of them also get clogged, and that's one of the things that you might not like about sprays. You can see the intensity of this color. The reason why I like sprays, and now this is not working. Okay, the reason why I like sprays is because I love how they mix. I love how smooth they go on a project, but also they really give a good coverage. I'm just looking for my spray bottle here, a different spray bottle, so I could actually, oh goodness, okay, you know, these things happen. I guess I should have tested these in advance, but I just want to show you the intensity of that color. So there you go. I just use a paintbrush just to spread it around. So you could really definitely use it at watercolors. And you can see it's pretty flat. This is the color wash. I mean, it's not available anymore, so it's not a big deal, but I just wanted to show you how intense the color is, which is really nice to see. The next one I'm going to try is the Distress Stain by Tim Holtz. Oh, okay, much better. Okay. So the way that it sprays, it's much smoother. It's a really smooth cover. And what I like about this, again, flat, no shimmer to it, but it can really react with water. So we're going to let this dry. I'm going to try let it react later with the water. Let's go with the Glimmer Mist. This is the Tattered Angels. And another blocked clog. So this happens a lot, and it happens a lot with the spray bottles. So it's unfortunate that it is. What happens is that the mica gets clogged inside the tube that is sprayed, and if you don't use it for a long time, it gets clogged. So again, you see, like, this is a different color. And the one thing about Tattered Angels, it ends up being they're very light colors. I don't know if you ever use them, but they don't have a lot of mica. They have more glimmer, and it's a very nice soft glimmer. Let me just clean this because it's just reacting with everything. I wish it wouldn't react, but it does. I'll try the chalk ink, and I am not sure it will work. Unfortunately, a lot of these sprays are old and they don't spray anymore. Oh, there we go. This one sprayed. Okay, so now you can see here the beauty about this. It's very, very chalky. It almost feels like it actually has chalk in it, and probably does. I don't know. I didn't go and read all the ingredients for everything, but I just wanted to just kind of differentiate things and make sure that you kind of see the different ones and able to decide what you want to do. So I'm going to write here, this is Tim Holtz Color Wash. And of course, this doesn't work either. Okay, let's try this one. Tim Holtz Color Wash. And this doesn't work also. And this one is Tim Holtz. I'm not sure what's going on. Oh, maybe it's just because it's wet. Tim Holtz Stain. And this is the Tattered and Angels. And this is the chalkboard. Chalk for Tattered Angels. Okay. So I'm going to continue and trying to do this video. It's not working how I thought it was going to work because some of the sprays are clogged. They are old. This is the Heidi Swapp one. It should work. This one I think is a new one. So unless it's completely clogged and blocked, it should work. And it's not working, and I'm not sure why. What is going on today? Wow. Okay. So again, it's very sad that I can't show you the exact way that this looks. Unfortunately, as I said, some of these are not working properly. This look to me like a dye ink as well. You can see how beautiful, the intense the color is. But again, another blocked thing, and this one is brand new, so I'm not really sure why they block so much. And it's really sad because I'm trying to do and show how good these sprays are, and most of them are blocked. I'm going to show you, this one is the colorings from Shimmers. Oh, finally something sprays. So it gives a really nice flat color, even though it has I don't think this, I think this one is more flat than shimmery, even though they're called Shimmers, the company. And this is called a Spritz. This is terracotta. And okay, so this, you can see, I just want to wipe off some of this excess here. Okay, so you can start seeing the difference. So these are more flat, less shimmery, and so forth. We're going to try with the Lindy's. This is the Flat Fabulous. So these one will be flat as well. Flat as well. So that's really nice. Let's start getting into the more shiny ones. So Here is the shiny one. This is the Moon Shadow Mist. This is the one that has the brown ink to it, but it also has other color. This should have had a little bit of blue in it as well. Maybe I didn't shake it well, but you will see hints of blue and hints of brown. And the last one is this one, which should have, it's a Starburst. This is the shiniest one out of their line. And you can't really tell it's shiny, but it definitely will dry shiny. So we're going to wait for that. So as you can see, when you're looking at it in the video, you really see that almost everything looks the same. It's really just kind of choosing which ones you want. And some companies have other colors that you might not have in certain companies. So that's basically what happens. You end up with different types of sprays just because a company might have a color that you don't have in another company. And I do prefer certain sprays. I do prefer the ones that are held like this. It's much easier for me, and especially for people that have fibromyalgia or have like arthritis or anything like that. I just find this movement much harder to do than the other. But that's only a suggestion for people that are suffering from that. I had arthritis when I was younger, and I have a lot of like issues sometimes with my hands, so it was something that was important to me. So I do find that certain ones are better for me, but doesn't mean that that's what you should use. I'm going to try the dilution ones, and these are really intense. Look at the intensity of that. Okay, so these are really intense colors. You don't need a lot for them to work. And the thing with that, because it's dye ink, they really stain. So you have to, you see, like they stain my hands in 2 seconds, and it will be harder to remove. They're very, very strong in terms of like in terms of how much ink goes on it. Let me just oops, you see, I'm like, it's spraying everywhere. Okay, so now I'm going to spray this. This is the Prima one, and this is the Color Bloom Spray 2. And again, it's also they're very intense, but there's also some lighter ones. Oosh, I should have maybe protected things. I should have done this instead of spraying. Okay, so a lot of people, what they like doing when they spray is that they like either having a mat like this. This is my Ken Oliver mat. They either have a mat like this, or they have, and they spray inside a box so it doesn't go everywhere. So if you don't like making a mess, okay, then a great solution is to have a box, like a cardboard box, an old cardboard box that you can use, and that way things will not get all messed up. And the last two that I want to try are the 13 Arts one. Let's hope that these are not clogged. They might be. And unfortunately, it's not something that I can control. So you see, it's more chalky in consistency and more intense. While I think the one that is again, so because it has so much mica in it, this is a common problem that will happen with sprays. So there's not much you can do to avoid it. One of the tricks is to shake things. And when you get a new bottle, or when you get any bottle, never shake up and down, not like this. Always shake sideways. You don't want the mica to go up the tube that lets out the spray. So a lot of things, as you can see, are very similar, and different ones give different coverage. If you can see here, the dilutions gave a really strong coverage. So what this one did, and the stain as well. The Lindy's and the Tattered Angels are a little bit lighter, and the Prima, I just picked two colors that were a little bit darker, but definitely there is lighter ones that are more pastel color ones, and those are really good as well, and they don't give such a dark coverage. But you can see when the colors are dark, they really look dark. The last thing I want to show you is the one that I made myself with the mica. And oops, hold on, this one is actually locked. No, it's done. So as you can see, I really prefer these type of sprays for different reasons. I mean, the bottle shaped, just besides being easier to handle and to spray, they tend to not clog as much. You see, I made my own color. I literally put mica powder inside this and some water, and I made my own color, and I went over that one because I didn't have any more space. But you can also do many different things, and I will talk about those as well. However, if you want something to be permanent, not all of these are permanent, meaning that they still react with water. So a good way to make something permanent, and this is a cool thing that if you want to purchase as well, Prima makes this fixative for sprays where you can actually spray on top of a finished product, and that will fix it into place. The Color Bloom sprays that Prima makes already have fixative, and I am guessing some of the other ones as well. Not everybody specifies on their website whether or not their inks are permanent. So it's really hard to know, and you have to look that up and or ask the company if their inks are permanent or will they react with water. We know definitely that Tim Holtz ones react with water, so you definitely want to seal those as well. The last thing I want to talk about is making your own sprays. I did show you how I made my own spray with the mica powder, and I'll show you what that is. Let me move this aside for a second. So there's lots of things that can help you make your own sprays. This is the mica powder and comes in many different colors. So if you don't want to spend money on sprays, you could buy mica powders and use them not only to mix with sprays, but you could also mix them with gesso, you could mix them with paste, you can mix them with anything. So they're multi-purpose use, and I really love these. Are the Prima Marketing Art Ingredients mica powder. This is the blue color. The one I did here is a teal color, and all I did is I literally opened this up, scoop up the mica powder, which is really, really nice and shimmery, and I went ahead and put a bunch inside the spray. And I'm getting really stained in my hands. This is how you should look after your work with mixed media. Now, to make your own spray, you can also use something like Color Bursts or Brusho. And all you do is you put a little bit of that powder inside the spray bottle. And oh, there it is. I forgot. I didn't know where it went. So you can put some of that inside the spray bottle and then add water. And then you have a perfect beautiful spray, intense spray. Depending on how much powder you put, you will get a more intense or a less intense spray. And with these ones specifically, you will need to put some fixative after because they are not permanent. You can also use something like Perfect Pearls. Perfect Pearls are basically mica, the same as this one from Prima, but this one is done by Ranger, and it's the same idea. You can use this to create the sprays as well. There's things, this was an old one. It's also very similar to Perfect Pearls. It's mica as well. And Magicals. So Magicals are made by Lindy Stamp Gang, and they come in powders, and you can take these and they react with water. So all you have to do again is put them inside your water bottle, and you go ahead and put some water, and it becomes another spray as well. And another neat idea, I don't know if you ever tried this before, is you using gelatos. So you could actually use gelatos. You put it inside your a little piece inside the bottle, inside the empty bottle, and then you put some water with it and mix it, and it creates a spray. And also, which I don't have right here, but the same thing as gelatos, you can do with the Nuvo Mousse. So if you take Nuvo Mousse and you put a piece of the mousse inside this empty bottle, you can create your own spray. So the nice thing about is that if you already have some of these. Let's say you have gelatos, let's say you have mica powders or magicals, or you have color bursts, but you haven't invested in sprays, then you can go ahead and make your own. You don't need to buy other ones. And let's say there's a color you don't really have, then go ahead and mix it up and make your own thing. It's really fun to just experiment. The sprays are one of the mediums that I really go to the fastest. I mean, it's the first thing that I kind of reach when I want to do a project. Number one, it's the fastest to apply, and I'm very impatient. And number two, I like the translucency of it. When you add paint, it's not translucent. I like the fact that things are translucent, and you can really get a beautiful coat without having to add that thickness that the paint adds. So I really like the many uses that sprays have, and I find that it's a really go-to medium for me. It doesn't have to be for everyone, but I really love experimenting, especially on art journals or on canvases, and also on cards and scrapbooking layouts. So basically, they're good for everything. And I do, as I said, I do have most of the Prima marketing ones. Those are the ones that I've gotten used to use the most. I like them because they have this nice shape to the bottle. I love the colors, and they're just easy to use for me, and I've gotten used to that. But it doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. There is people that are obsessed with Lindy Stamp Gang. There's people that are obsessed with 13 Arts. There's people that are obsessed Tim Holtz. So whatever you do, it doesn't matter as long as you love doing it. So if you are excited about what you're doing and you love creating with those specific sprays, then use those. If you're looking for something else, look for reviews online where it tells you like how they react with other things. Because if you love doing, let's say, art journaling, then you really want to have that sprays that are specifically good for that type of work. So, I mean, play around, have fun. As I always say, experiment, experiment, experiment. I shouldn't say that enough. I don't say that enough, and I want to say it again. Just experiment, have fun, and enjoy your art journal. Sorry, not your art journal, your art process, your journey. Art journey, not art journal. That's what I meant. Thank you so, so much for coming and seeing my videos again. Please share this. If you know someone that needs to learn from this, then just share this, please, on social media. It really helps me. Please subscribe to my channel if you are not already. It really means a lot when people subscribe and leave comments. And if you have any questions, I'm always open for questions and suggestions, as long as they're constructive and nice. And please give it a thumbs up. And also, if you have any questions, either ask them, and if you don't want to ask them in public on my YouTube channel, go ahead and email me on Facebook or message me on Facebook, and I will gladly answer any of your questions. So thank you so much, and have an amazing day. Bye.